Good morning, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
First, I just want to thank you for everything that you teach and just the frequency that you vibrate at.
Again, it is our passion and our pleasure.
We spoke in 2014 in Sedona, and what you talked to me about in regards to voices in your head was really profound.
Oh, all right.
And I want to thank you for that as well. I find myself just recently relocating here to the Bay Area, and it's interesting. I'm in the business world now, and it really feels good, and it feels passionate.
You sound surprised.
I am, and I'm not sure why. I never thought that my trajectory would bring me to the business world.
Well, what is the business you do?
I collect data, and I help to train it out to people.
All right, and at this moment in your life, what is exciting about that for you?
I get to meet with stakeholders. I get to hear their vision. I get to understand what they want from the company.
So you are gathering different perspectives.
I am, actually.
All right.
I find that I'm really good at that, and I guess I just didn't know that I was really good at that.
Until you allowed yourself to follow your passion and see where it led.
Correct. And this has never been a more defining moment about really actually understanding my passion than right now with you right here. And that's actually really clear.
Yes, well, that's why we say you don't necessarily have to start out with some overarching project or giant career path. You can start simply just by looking around at the different options available to you at any given moment. I could take a walk, I could read a book, I could have some food, I could talk to a friend, I could do this, I could do that. Which one has even just the tiniest bit more attractiveness and excitement connected with it than any other that has the greater ability to be acted on? Just act on that first, and if you keep doing that step by step, it will start to build, it will start to expand, it will start to grow, and may turn into larger expressions, although it doesn't necessarily have to. Because even if you're always following your passion, even at that level, not meaning to diminish it, you're still following your excitement. So who cares how expanded or contracted it may appear? Yes?
Yeah, I absolutely can follow that. And I was having this conversation with you this morning in regards to magnetism, and then when you opened up with your delivery of the nodals and magnetism, it really helped me because I was magnetized to this Bay Area, and I've never lived in the Bay Area before. And I felt like a real beacon of light lately in a company here in the Bay Area that's under a lot of controversy right now.
Oh, all right. How exciting.
I know, right? And so I was really fine with that. And
Fine with it how?
I was fine with them. Their mission literally had the word disruptor in it. They were a disruptor in a certain market. So I thought, okay, cool. This is going to be an interesting ride.
Yes.
Because they're using that word in their mission statement.
All right.
Well, I've just landed here a month and a half ago, and things are really going well there.
Again, you sound surprised.
Well, what happened with that is that just 2 days ago, we've parted ways.
All right.
They've had to do a sweeping layoffs, and
so now where does your passion take you?
that is a really great question.
Oh, thank you. Do you have a great answer?
I really don't, except for right here, right now.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Because obviously you are here and now, so obviously your passion took you here for the moment. When this is done, your passion will take you wherever it appears obvious that it should take you. Yes, and remember what I just said. Simple steps are okay.
I think what's happening right now is there's this dissonance. It's almost like a cognitive dissonance where I felt so good in this place.
May I stop you?
Yeah.
Since we talked about the idea that you were gathering information and different perspectives, now that you have created a scenario that you have ousted yourself from that particular moment, how can you use what you gathered and what you learned in another way?
Yeah, I actually heard you say that when we were talking on I don't know what level, but on obviously a different level. And
so do you have an answer for that?
I don't.
Are you sure? Where's your imagination? Is it in a box somewhere? Open the box. How can you use what you have gathered in another way?
I feel like I almost need at this point when I'm tapping in like vibrationally, because I really have been getting that idea and understanding of really lifting my frequency. And it started to really lift when I was there because I was meeting with VPs and EVPs.
Yes.
And one turned to me and said, I don't know if I can keep up with you. And I went, wow, I'm actually have a huge amount of leadership ability. Like
right.
if there's a reflection in front of me that I'm
Is that another step for you? Or is the information you have gathered sufficient for you to actually start your own business?
I feel like I'd like to be the way my nature works and how I work. I feel like I'm more wired to actually step back into another business arena.
But be more leader
Yes,
in it.
Absolutely.
So that's the next step for you.
Yes, it is. But there's a hesitancy with it.
I heard the hesitancy.
And I feel like there's almost a need for a permission slip to step into that next reality. And I don't really understand
What
parallel.
kind of a permission slip do you believe you need?
I feel like there's a lot of perhaps doubt, or there's some lingering
And what is doubt? Come on. What is doubt? A 100% trust in something you don't prefer. So why are you trusting something you don't prefer? Remember, you never lack trust. Doubt is not a lack of trust.
I actually think I do lack trust.
You can't. You can have an experience of lacking trust, but you're trusting that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually a really cool way to reframe that.
That's the power of paradox. You can feel out of control, but you're controlling that. You can feel like you lack confidence, but you're confident about that. You can create an experience that you lack trust, but you're trusting that.
I really love talking with you because this is something that I've really needed to get down to the core of, which is just that paradox. So if I can trust the untrust, why couldn't I trust the trust?
Exactly. What's the difference? The universe doesn't care one way or the other. It's going to support you unconditionally. So whatever you say goes.
So I'm still wondering what's going on with needing a permission slip to step into a really powerful
Don't judge it.
role.
If you have a belief system that says a permission slip will work for you, then use one.
And how do I go about using,
Imagination. What feels like a good permission slip in your imagination? If you could have any kind of a permission slip that seems relevant in your reality, what would it be? Would you jump up and down 50 times? Would you drink 5 glasses of water a day? Would you create some sort of a ceramic out of clay? Would you paint a picture of a reality of yourself being a leader? Would you sing songs about your power? Would you adopt a turtle? What kind of a permission slip seems attractive to you?
You are just a great friend. I feel like a permission slip that I could vibe with would be one that's really off the wall, but the other one is something that comes naturally to me, which is visualization.
That's fine. Just remember how to use it in the way that we talked. Use the visualization to pump you up to the excited state and then drop the picture. Because that's how you get yourself into the state to receive what actually needs to come from the higher mind. Now, sometimes it may look very similar to the picture that you conjured up, but very often it may not, so don't insist on it. Use the visualization for its actual purpose, a symbol to pump you to the correct state of being, state of excitement that makes it more easy for you to receive what the higher mind can then actually give you that will work better for you, whether you know it or not, no matter how it looks.
And I really heard that. I think where I get caught up to this point is using that visualization, and you were really emphatic about then dropping it so
Yes.
that you can allow whatever it needs to unfold. And I feel like I use that visualization up to this point in certain ways, almost in a controlling factor, and I hang on to that visualization without a dropping it.
All right, that's because you don't understand that your physical mind has no idea what actually needs to happen. You're still operating off the thing you've been taught that the negative ego uses to say, I have to be in control, I have to know everything that's going to happen exactly in the way I see it, or something is wrong. I'm out of control if it doesn't happen that way. You have to get into a state of humbleness, enough to know that you actually have no clue what's best for you. But your higher mind does. So why not take the burden off your shoulders, off your poor, stressed out little ego, and stop demanding it do a job it's not designed to do. Let the higher mind do its job. Work together. Understand that the physical mind, the physical ego, we've used this analogy before, is nothing more than a diving mask. If you're going to dive under the ocean, things are going to look a little murky because you're not used to that environment. It may not be as clear as the air. So what you do is you put on a diving mask that allows you to have clear vision while you're down there in that physical reality ocean. But that's the job of the diving mask. The diving mask doesn't have the job of saying, well, now I think you should go over here and look at that fish. Oh, now you should go over here and look at that fish. No, you decide that. The diving mask, the physical mind, the physical ego, just makes it possible to see whatever you decide to do more clearly. That's it. That's its job. It has no other job. It doesn't get to decide where you should go or what should happen next. It's not designed to do that. If you put that kind of pressure on the diving mask to tell you, well, what should I do next? What should I look at next? Tell me, tell me, tell me. That kind of pressure will crack the diving mask. And that's when it becomes the negative ego. Oh, all right, go there, go here. I guess you want me to tell you what to do. That's not my job, but I guess you're forcing me to do it that way. So I'll do it to my best, but it's going to drive me nuts because it's not my job. And then the physical mind goes insane. And usually allows something to happen because now your vision is cracked, so you can't really see clearly where you're going. So suddenly you go, oh, all right, I'll go that way, and off a cliff you go. And you do that because, in a sense, the physical mind in its subconscious compartment knows if I show her a direction and she falls off a cliff, it will finally bring everything back to zero. That's how it works. Don't get to the point where you have to fall off a cliff to understand that it's not the job of your physical mind to tell you exactly what should happen or where to go. The higher mind guides you through passion. That's the thread. That's the light that illuminates the path that is yours. The feeling of passion that attracts you to do this now and do that now. The physical mind just gets to go along for the ride and enjoy it. That's enough. So if you finally get to the point where you understand that insistence actually prevents something from happening that could be better than your physical mind imagined, you will stop limiting yourself. You will stop insisting that the physical mind's picture has to be it. You will know that that's a limitation you don't prefer. All this comes down to just understanding how this works. Yes?
Yes.
Is this helping?
It helps a lot. It almost feels like perhaps that permission slip is not going to work for me as much anymore.
Well, there you go. It's up to you to decide what does work for you. And ultimately realize you are the best permission slip because you're making the changes anyway. The permission slip isn't doing it for you. The permission slip just aligns with your belief system to allow you to circumvent your belief system. Someone thought that was funny. And it is. It's hilarious from our point of view.
So, as I'm navigating now it feels like a new territory where I'm
Yes.
realizing what I'm really good at, and having other people, I felt like a beacon of light.
Yes, well, you are. All of you are.
And it felt really good.
Well, gee, I wonder why.
And now all of a sudden, I feel like when I start to, I can understand the languaging of the higher self, and then I understand the languaging of the human being in your opening.
Yes.
I think what happens is I can hear the higher self very clearly now. What is happening is I start to effort rather than do.
Why?
I'm not sure why, but
Well, that's the moment to stop, not rush ahead. Stop. And use that moment to find out what the belief system is that you're holding on to that makes it seem like you have to effort instead of do. That's what that moment is for. Don't avoid it. Don't rush ahead. Don't leave it behind. When those things come up, the thing to do is stay there with it and figure out why it came up. And remember, one of the tools in the kit of passion is the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything within your belief system that is out of alignment with your passion, so that you can recognize it for what it is and let it go and bring that energy back into alignment with your passion. So the point is, and again, the paradox is, as you're acting on your passion, discovering something within yourself that is not representative of your excitement is part of your excitement, not an interruption in it.
and I understand that one as well. I think what's going on is I don't know that when I'm actually doing or efforting.
You can't tell the difference?
I think I'm always efforting.
Then what do you imagine just doing would feel like that's different?
I can hear myself saying, I just would like to have this next incredible leadership role fall into my lap.
Well, it will, but what makes you think that there isn't something you need to do or learn to do that is a challenge but doesn't have to be experienced as effort in the negative sense?
I think because I haven't experienced anything and just being chill and doing rather than like full on 150% efforting, I haven't had a touchstone to know that, almost like that middle ground of hearing the higher self.
How did you come to this meeting today? Literally, how did you come here? Physically?
Uber.
Uber. Is that a friend of yours? How much effort did that take?
Actually, it was not any effort at all. In fact, I was thinking of
Then what's wrong with that as an example of just doing? You have these examples in your life all over the place. Don't you see them? Perhaps you're under the assumption that it's supposed to feel like effort, when in fact, when you're actually in your flow, it does feel like you're not doing anything, even if you are doing something. So maybe your definition is not allowing you to understand that you have many examples in your life, even ones as simple as that, where you are in fact just doing something without any effort at all. But you're not recognizing that you're doing it because the effort is absent. And you're making a link between those two. If I'm not efforting, I'm not doing. Yet you just said you did something without effort. So it can't be that hard.
I think when I let that, what you've just said, really sink deep, that it will really be that.
I want to ask you a question now. May I?
Yes, of course.
Why did you just say what you said? When I really let that sink in really deep, why should it take that much effort? Why not? I get it. I just get it. Why does it have to sink in deeply for you to get it?
It almost brought tears to my eyes. I don't have a good answer for that.
That's all right. I'm not suggesting that you must have it now. But ponder that, because in what we just said is your freedom. All right? I don't mean you have to ponder it right now.
I really appreciate that, Bashar, and
And we appreciate you. So,
thank you.
you are welcome.
Now, many of you are familiar with some of the different frequency states of your brain, and you know that there are states that put you in different kinds of modalities, different kinds of perspectives. But many of you are also not familiar with the idea called the gamma state, which is between 40 and 100 cycles per second in your brain. In the typical channeling state, it averages somewhere around 45 to 50 cycles per second, 45, 50 hertz, as you say. And this particular vibration allows you to experience in the neurological